All right, good morning, everyone. It's me, so, all right. Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, October the 14th of 2022. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. This is the Orca Each calendar, as well as every Orca Each show cause calendar. At today's hearing today, we will address matters such as taking keys and keep the status of ancient cases. All participants, this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. It's also being recorded. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. Those who are unrepresented today and wish to seek the services of the public defender's office, please take a look at the chat feature. I believe there's information in that chat that explains how you can seek those services. You will have to complete an application and qualify for services today. Any private attorneys on the line, if you don't mind, I would ask if you would click the feature that says raise hand, so that I can easily identify you. Mr. Corn, I'm telling you from me. I know you can hear me. All right, if Mr. Corn is unable to hear me, is anyone else experiencing the
We
same?
can hear you, but there's an echo, Judge Williams.
Yes. Okay. Is anything else in the courtroom on? We're gonna check.
Judge Williams, if there's anyone that is logged in to the Zoom and their mic is on, they need to mute it. That should take care of the echo.
All right, is the echo still problematic?
That's better, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I think it was the other microphone in the courtroom. Let's begin by calling the Orca East status calendar. We're gonna call by names, not position numbers today on that particular calendar. All right, Tracy Caldwell. Is Ms. Caldwell present? Mr. Corn or Ms. Helen, do either of you represent her?
No, Judge, but I see that Julia Holly is entered in an appearance. I believe that she's part of our state court trial division. So I think that case is with our office, but Judge, I don't have a follow-up as to why Ms. Cadwell didn't have notice for today. I don't know, Judge, but if we could, if she doesn't appear, I'd like to reset that and give Ms. Holly a chance to appear for her.
All right, we'll see. Thank you, Ms. Helen, for that.
Thank you, Judge.
Ashley Cato. Ashley Cato. Jacoby Dickerson. Jacoby Dickerson. Everyone, please change your name on the screen to your actual name. If your name says iPhone, it may delay processing here. So please change your name to your actual name. Brian Cougar or Coger. Mr. Coger, I see you on the line.
That's right, Judge. That's my case, and we
Yes,
have
ma'am, I'm here.
we have a negotiated plea for this morning.
All right, we'll come back to that case shortly. Thank you. Jacoby Dickerson. Jacoby Dickerson. DeMarcus Miller.
Good morning, Judge. Ricky Richardson for Mr. Miller.
All right,
This
is your
time,
announcement?
Judge needed a pretrial with the state.
All right. And who from the state is assigned to this case?
Erica Marshall Story. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Marshall Story. It's great to see you. We'll see if we can get that pretrial going at the conclusion of the calling of the calendar.
Okay.
Thank you. Thomas Payne. Thomas Payne. Leslie Robinson.
Present.
Mr. Robinson, are you represented by an attorney?
Yes,
I thought you were reset. Who is your attorney?
Attorney Reynolds.
All right, I don't see it. Oh, Mr. Reynolds, do you represent this defendant? You're muted. We can't hear you. We still can't hear you. You'll have to click the little microphone button. All right, Mr. Reynolds, I'll give you one more moment and then we'll come back to that position. All right, Toshi Shivers.
Judge, that is my case today. I do believe she's here on the line. She's right there on the Zoom call. Judge, we are going to be requesting a jury trial for this case, Judge.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
And I think Mr. Reynolds was able to activate his
We'll
audio.
come right back to Mr. Reynolds. And you do not believe that resetting it to another status, you might be able to reach a plea?
No, Your Honor, Ms. Toshi is not accepting any plea from the state for this case, Judge.
All right,
If our reset date for jury trials is November the 15th.
all right. All right, Ms. Helen, Ms. Shivers' case will be reset to an Orca jury trial calendar on November the 15th.
And Judge, do we have a later calendar than that? If not December?
Not as of
Not as of today, so as of right now, we will reset it to that jury trial date.
Understood, Judge.
And what we can do is if you and the state agree to a later date at that point, but the point is to move our aging cases ideally.
Understood, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen, I appreciate that. Ms. Shivers, you're free to go. Your reset date will be November the 15th.
At 9 a.m.?
It's unclear the time
Yes,
yet.
ma'am.
It's in that, I believe it is at 9.
Okay,
All right,
thank you, Judge.
thank you. Have a good day. All right, we'll go back to Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, your announcement for Mr. Robinson's case.
Judge, a pretrial.
All right, who from the state is assigned to this case? Leslie Robinson, position A.
Your Honor, I'll take the case on. I think based on position numbers, we're not quite clear, but I'll do it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Marshall-Story, for being willing to do so. All right, if you'll just hold briefly, Mr. Reynolds, we'll get that started. All right, Mr. Walker, Harold Walker is here in court with me today. Are you represented, Mr. Walker? Hold 1 second. It's, I see that the public defender's office represents Mr. Walker. Is that correct, Mr. Ford?
Yeah,
Hold on, Judge. That's my case. I'm actually talking with Ms. Toshi at the moment. Mr. Walker is in the courtroom, I believe.
He is. He's here with me.
And I just spoke to Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker would also like to request a full jury trial for this case, Judge. And I'm assuming it'll be on the November 15th date.
It will be, unless you believe that there's an opportunity for us to resolve it without the necessity of a trial at another Orca calendar.
No, November 15th would be fine, Judge.
All right, Mr. Walker, your case is gonna be reset for an in-person jury trial on November the 15th. You'll be required to appear at that time. All right, stay in touch with Ms. Helen.
At 9 a.m.
All right, 9 a.m. You're free to go. I'm sorry? Not yet. You'll receive it just as you got the notice to appear today. All right, that paperwork does not yet exist. All right? All right, take care. Have a good day.
And thank you, Judge.
All right, that concludes the Orca E status. Let's call the show cause very quickly, then we'll begin those pre-trial conferences. Otis Alexander. Otis Alexander. David Bennett. April Bell. Yolanda Farrell. And public defender's office doesn't represent any of these individuals. Sergio Hinton. Peter Locke, or Loke, perhaps. Cassandra Munez. Destiny Parker. Austin Peterson. Marcel Rouse. Sabrina Skoll. Edwin Valadares. John Wall. All right, if Ms. Marshall's story could be placed in a breakout, there's two cases for Ms. Marshall's story to speak regarding. And remind me again, who represented Mr. Miller? Mr. DeMarcus Miller?
I believe that's Ricky Richardson.
Okay. If those two could be placed in a breakout, do I see Mr. Richardson still on the screen? I do not.
I don't see
Yeah,
it.
he dropped out, that's what was, I had it marked. All right, if Ms. Marshall Ford is placed in with Mr. Reynolds now instead, until Mr. Richardson's return. So that they could pre-trial position, I believe it was 8.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, can we take the plea at position 2? Can we do Mr. Cougar's plea or
That's
Cougar's?
Marshall's story, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's
She
her
said
Well,
case.
that's, yeah.
Ms. Marshall's story. This is some unfortunate luck today. All right. I'll move. In the meantime, I'd like to state his position regarding a dead docket, position number 5, the case of Sergio Hinton, in which Mr. Hinton is charged with criminal trespass. The court is considering that for a dead docket.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would ask, there is restitution. In this case, it's not a criminal trespass of a business. Give me just a moment to pull up the police report.
And Your Honor, I hate to interrupt you, but Ms. Toshi came back on the line and stated that she changed her mind. She does not want that jury trial. She wants to come back onto the Zoom call and be able to accept the offer from the state. So Judge, I know that you made already announced that case, but we'd like to ask it back for Ms. Shivers.
I'm hoping that either Ms. Riley or Ms. Izziea is assigned to that position.
Yes, Ms. Riley is assigned to that case.
All right, great. I don't see Ms. Shivers on the Zoom conference yet. Is she coming back on?
She is, Judge. I'll text her, let her know we're waiting for her.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I think people didn't believe jury trial would actually happen expeditiously as it's going to. Sir, if you're on this Zoom conference as iPhone, what is your name? You're wearing the black t-shirt. What is your name, sir? And please change your name to your actual name.
DeMarcus Miller.
Oh, you are DeMarcus Miller. Okay. Please change your name, Mr. Miller, so we know who you are. Thank you.
I'm trying to see how to change it.
Judge, I believe she's connecting now.
In your honor, as to Mr. Sergio Hinton, it appears as though officers met with the female victim, Lisa Horton. She was outside talking on her phone, and she came to talk to them, and she was in an argument with Mr. Sergio Hinton, and it started out as verbal. And looks like he damaged walls inside the apartment. And glass pieces on the floor. Resulting in $150 in restitution. He has 4 prior arrest cycles. So we would ask for a bench warrant in this case.
What are the 4 cycles, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. He has a arrest for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit, possession of marijuana, DUI, and battery. And these are offenses out of Nevada and in Georgia.
How old is the battery? Are you able to see that?
Yes, Your Honor. The battery offense was 2011. And it appears in Georgia. He has a driving without a license, marijuana offense. And he also has 4 cycles. The 3rd cycle was 2019, a terroristic threat and damage to property. And this was less than a year prior to this current offense. And then
that's sufficient. I'm gonna consider that. Thank you, Ms. Riley. Let's go back to the case of Ms. Shivers. In case 20 CR 004896Y, Ms. Toshi Shivers is charged with 1 count of reckless driving, 1 count of disorderly conduct, and 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol or states, each with the offense date of October the 4th of 2020. Ms. Shivers, you're on the line and represented by Ms. Helen. Do you understand your rights today? Ms. Shivers?
she's still on mute.
Ms. Shivers, do you understand your rights today? You're muted.
She is on mute.
I'm not sure because I'm a little
Hey,
confused.
don't say anything. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. Oh, it's a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means that any member of the public can watch this. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Ms. Helen, the announcement is now that she wants to consider a plea.
Yes, Judge, and I just want a clarification. So for Ms. Shivers' case ending in 4896, I have a driving improper / erratic lane change, DUI, and a disorderly conduct. I've spoken to ASG Riley. She stated that she is willing to reduce the DUI to a reckless driving with the conditions of 1 year of probation, risk reduction course, 40 hours of community service, a $300 fine, and a victim impact panel.
As well as an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that is recommended.
All right, Ms. Riley, why don't you give me very briefly the factual basis that supports the offer given by the state?
Yes, one moment, Your Honor. However, the paperwork has not been sent to Ms. Helen to give Ms. Shivers to sign for this plea. So that still has to happen.
Right, I want to make sure that we went from a jury trial to taking the plea. So I want to make sure that this is even gonna get close to taking place. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Marshall Story has returned. Ms. Marshall Story, do you have an announcement? And Mr. Reynolds, you're muted.
Mr. Reynolds, did you want to make the announcement or would you like me to do it?
Mr. Reynolds, your announcement, that's fine. You're muted. Mr. Reynolds, you're muted.
All right. Is that better?
It is, we can hear you now. That's
All
wonderful.
right, that's good. Your Honor, at this point, we just ask the matter be continued. And hopefully we'll be able to at some point resolve it.
All right, so you're asking for another status date. Are you close to reaching a resolution?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Rowe, what's my next reset?
We have November the 4th and November 18th.
All right, I'm gonna reset it to November the 18th to give you both time to speak further regarding this matter, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve it then. All right?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Both you and your client are free to go. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, before we go back, can you hold 1 second, Ms. Riley and Ms. Helen? Did Mr. Richardson ever return for Mr. Miller? I don't see him on the screen. Okay, I see Mr. Richardson now. Mr. Richardson, are you there? When Mr. Richardson returns, if he could be placed in the breakout with Ms. Marshall's Story so that they could discuss that matter, I would appreciate that. I'm sorry, Ms. Riley, please proceed with Ms. Shivers' case. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers were dispatched on October 4th, 2020 to an accident with injury call on 285 southbound at Campbellton Road in Fulton County. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Ms. Shivers. There was a traffic accident for which there was a erratic lane change, and Ms. Shivers struck another vehicle. Ms. Shivers was being attended to by Grady EMS, for which she repeatedly was stating, you know, I will beat that expletive for pulling the sheets off of me in the ambulance, as her family members tried to restrain her on scene. After speaking with Ms. Shivers, there was a strong odor of alcohol on her breath, and that was confirmed by Grady nurses upon arrival at the detention center.
All right, Ms. Helen, you've heard the facts as alleged by the state, as well as the state's offer. Do you believe that your client still wishes to proceed to a jury trial or wishes to take a plea today?
Hi, Ms. Shivers. Can you let the judge know, would you like to move forward with the state plea with the stated conditions, or would you like that jury trial?
I would actually like to ask the judge if I could get another court date to proceed with a different counsel.
No, okay.
Can I tell you why?
I would prefer you didn't, really, because it's, again, the state is listening. And there's really no way for you to speak to me privately at this point. You're asking a reset date to obtain private counsel,
Yes.
even though you qualify for the services of the public defender's office. What would happen is we would still reset you to that jury trial date, Ms. Shivers. So by November the 14th, you would have to come with your private attorney and be prepared to go to a full jury trial. I'm willing to do that. They give you about a month to find another attorney who can take this case to trial for you. But Ms. Helen stands willing to do either of those.
Okay, since that's the only choice there is, go ahead.
I'm not sure what you're telling us to go ahead and do. Which
I
one?
don't want a jury trial, never asked for one.
All right, what were you asking for, Ms. Sugar?
I was asking, is it possible to have other counsel?
All right, you wanna, and then that's what I'm asking you, so I would be resetting your case to a jury trial date. That would give your, a new attorney time to speak with Ms. Riley. And then if that wasn't possible that you reached a resolution before then, your counsel would appear on that jury trial date. So, is that what you'd like to do?
No, I don't want no jury trial, so y'all could go ahead. I don't have a good communication with her. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Again, I'm not sure when you say go ahead, what you'd like us to do. Would you like to speak with Ms. Helen privately and perhaps seek her counsel? Because I think there are some things that she might be able to explain to you that I cannot. I think.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, I think give Ms. Helen a call. Ms. Helen, would you please call your client? And maybe clarify what direction you'd like to go in here, all right?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Richardson, is he back on the line to speak to Ms. Marshall's story? If not, we'll take the plea. All right, well, hopefully Mr. Richardson will return. In the meantime, let's go to position 2, the case of Brian Koger, case 20 BR003770Y, in which defendant is charged with theft by shoplifting and obstruction with the offense date of July the 5th of 2019. Ms. Marshall Story, will you please give us the state's offer as well as very briefly the factual basis supporting that offer?
Your Honor, the state's offers 12 months to serve 24 hours with credit for time served, balance probated, and to complete a theft class. And we'll null process the obstruction.
All right.
Before we go too far, Mr. Koger, could you come on the camera and unmute yourself? There you
How you
go.
doing, sir? I got separated for some reason.
All right, please just sit there 1 second, Mr. Coker. Do you understand your rights here today? You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Corn is here to represent you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Corn, was that your understanding of the offer here today?
That is my understanding of it, yes.
All right, do you stipulate to the factual basis, ID, and venue in this case?
We would so stipulate.
All right, Mr. Coker, I have your paperwork. I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure you are knowingly and voluntarily taking the plea today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today for the very limited purposes of taking a plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hands down. Thank you. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, I am.
Did anyone force or coerce you into taking a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you understand you will have no further court dates regarding this particular case, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charge of theft by shoplifting, Mr. Coger, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything further from either the state or the defense as it pertains to this case?
No, ma'am.
Not from the state, Your Honor, but I will go ahead and submit that no process, and I believe that is that Ms. Strong.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that done.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall Story. Anything
Thank
further?
you. No, Your Honor. I would note Mr. Koger lives in Alabama, so he's got to do a theft class. I'm going to send him some information on some online theft classes, and we'll make sure this gets done.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Best of luck to you, Mr. Coger. That concludes your case. Stay in contact with your attorney, all right?
All right. Appreciate you.
Take care. Mr. Richardson, I saw you came back on for a moment. Can Ms. Marshall, Mr. Marshall Story, I know you're doing a lot. You're working on the no process and balancing quite a few things, but can you speak with Mr. Richardson in that breakout?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Can those two be placed in the breakout, please? All right, so the only other position we're holding on then would be the position for Ms. Sochi. And then after that, we have concluded the calendar. I believe so.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I was quite Orca today. I think Ms. Marshall Story gets the Snicker bar of the day.
Yes.
And Your Honor, we're ready on Ms. Shivers. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine. Your announcement, Ms. Helen.
Judge, I'm uncomfortable moving forward with a plea today. Ms. Shivers has made some clear statements about her not understanding necessarily the conditions, what's going on, my representation, that she may be forced into something. So Judge, I'd like for her to be reset. Our office doesn't necessarily allow people to shop through our public defenders if they don't agree with our representation, but we can reset her. I'll see if another public defender from the Orca calendar could potentially speak with her. And if that doesn't work, Judge, then she may have to look for private counsel if she does not want to move forward with the public defender's office.
All right, so Ms. Helen, you yourself will no longer be representing her.
No, Ms. Shivers does not want to move forward with my representation.
All right, and you're gonna see if someone else in your office could be assigned to her case. Okay. For now, that November the 15th jury trial date will stand. She is free to get out of counsel before then or speak with someone else at your office. I will ask that if she's gonna be reassigned within your office, Ms. Helen, that you see that it's done expeditiously.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Shivers, we will see you back here on November the 15th, all right?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're free to go. Take care. And now we're just waiting on the announcement in Mr. Miller's case, and then that will conclude the entire calendar. In the meantime, may I have the state's position for the case of Ashley Cato, position number 7 on the status calendar regarding potentially just docketing that case?
The case, we would ask for a bench. Good morning, Your Honor. We would ask for a bench warrant. This did Mr. Cato attempted to strike the victim, Miss Browning, in this situation.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
I apologize.
This is Larry Corn.
Hello?
All right.
Hi, Judge Williams. Okay, you're gonna be happy. It took us a minute. Mr. Richardson, would you like to proceed?
I don't know that he would. He's not here. I don't see him. We said you get the Snicker bar of the day. He's watched the story. You
I'm
get
getting
it.
the what?
Snicker bar of the day. It's yours. Mr. Richardson is coming back.
There he is.
Your announcement, please.
Good morning, Judge. I apologize. I had to log out, log back on for some reason.
That's
Can
okay.
you place Mr. Miller in a breakout room with me so I can go over his paperwork with him real quick?
Okay. All right. So the announcement is the plea.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
All right. Are we gonna be able to get the paperwork to me before the conclusion?
Ms. Marshall already sent it to me. I'm getting his express permission to sign on his behalf, and I'll forward it directly to the court.
All right. If Mr. Richardson and his client could be placed in a breakout, I'd appreciate that. All right, are we ready to proceed with the plea? You're muted, Mr. Richardson. I haven't done it. Ms. Richardson, there?
Did it populate in Ms. Marshall Story's email? I signed all the documents, had him sign everything. We did it all electronically.
In the meantime, Mr. Miller, your case is 20 CR 003888Y. In that case, you're charged with simple battery with the offense date of September the 14th of 2018. You understand your rights today? Is Mr. Miller here?
He should be. I told him to come back in.
Yes.
Turn your camera on, Mr. Miller, please. You understand your rights today? You're muted. And did the paperwork come through with Marshall Story?
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Miller, once you, okay, I believe you're
Yes,
unmuted.
ma'am.
You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Marshall Story, will you please put the state's offer onto the record as well as very briefly the factual basis supporting the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is agreeing to plead guilty to simple battery to serve 24 hours. To serve 1 year, 24 hours credit for that time served, and the remaining balance will be suspended. He is to have no further contact with Willie Hardaway and to stay away from 2395 Butner Road in Fulton County, Georgia. Very briefly, Your Honor, the defendant, DeMarcus Miller, did make intentional physical contact on the date of September 14, 2018 in Fulton County with Willie Hardaway by striking him.
All right, Mr. Richardson, was that your understanding of the offer, or do you stipulate to the factual basis, identity, and venue in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Miller, I'm going to ask you very briefly some questions to make sure you are knowingly and voluntarily taking a plea today, all right? Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Richardson's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force you into taking a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything in exchange?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that by taking a plea, you're giving your right up to any further court dates where the state would have had to prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand the conditions, even though you do not have additional time to serve in the Fulton County Jail, you cannot return to that location on Butner Road?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charge of simple battery, Mr. Miller, how do you plead?
I'm guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything further from either party?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
So just for the record, that Mr. Miller gave me express permission. I did read all documentation to him, and we did sign the document and tender it to this Sister Solicitor, Ms. Marshall Story.
Ms. Marshall Story, we're waiting for the paperwork. Once we have confirmed receipt here at the court, you and your client will be free to go, Mr. Richardson.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll just unmute then.
I'm sorry, Mr. Richardson, I thought you sent it to both myself and the court, but I'm forwarding it right now.
I didn't have a court email address. I'm sorry.
And that's also to Ms. Strong?
It is.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, please send Ms. Strong.
Okay, I just forwarded that. It'll say forward test mail, Ms. Strong.
We've got it. We're gonna make sure it's off here.
Okay.
Everything looks good. All right, Mr. Richardson, you and your client are both free to go.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Richardson.
All right, we will review the
Thank you, Your
calendar,
Honor.
and that will be the conclusion of our order once we've done so. That cover sheet though, what happened that? Oh, it's not that cover sheet. Yeah, that's it. And we'll be free. Do we want to review the calendar? Does anyone have questions? As to the Orca status calendar, I will be resetting those cases one time to another status calendar with the exception of, which one was that one? It was position 9. Bench warrant will issue for position 9. All cases on the show cause calendar, bench warrant shall issue FTA. Is there anything further or specific positions people have questions regarding?
Yes, Your Honor, for the Orca E status calendar, position 9, can you state the name as the ordering is different?
Oh, it's Jacoby Dickerson. It's actually showing as the 3rd listed position, but it's position number 9.
Thank you.
And what did you say was the reset date for that, or what?
I didn't say Ms. Givier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ms. Strong, I believe it's what, the 4th?
I'm sorry, which one are we talking about?
The ones that I'm resetting one time, all the ones from status, they automatically go to the 4th. Can I put them down? And 4th, they're not enough, baby.
No, some of them went to the 4th. So Miss Tracy Caldwell and Ashley Cato are reset for November the 4th. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. And Leslie Robinson is reset for November the 18th, as well as Tashi Shivers.
You said the 18th for
November the 18th.
Miss,
I thought it was the 15th.
Yeah.
I decided to do what we spoke, I'm sorry, I spoke with Ms. Strong. I am gonna reset Ms. Shivers not to a jury trial calendar. Please let her know. I am gonna reset her one time to a status just so that we can resolve the issue with her getting other counsel. I do want that to happen expeditiously. And if she doesn't have counsel at that time, she goes immediately to the next available bench trial calendar.
Okay, and I just want to get that correct. That was November the 18th at 9 a.m., Judge?
Yes.
And if not that, it'll immediately go to a bench trial.
I'm sorry, it will immediately go to the Orca jury trial. We now have Orca jury trials. So that's where it will go.
Understood, Judge. Thank you for that update.
And Your Honor, just for a point of clarification, is Ashley Cato also a bench warrant?
No, Ashley Cato is reset to November the 4th.
Okay.
That's Mr. Haddad's case, so Judge wanted it to be
We have some
reset.
information regarding that case, so we're gonna reset that one.
Thank you.
And I apologize, Judge. I'm looking at the Orca E show cause calendar. Did you give a announcements for those or?
Bench warrant shall issue for those cases.
All FTAs. Okay.
All right, is there any other questions, comments, changes?
Oh, we weren't finished yet.
Yes, just, I didn't hear a date for Jacoby Dickerson.
There is no date for Jacoby Dixon. He has a bench warrant.
Oh, bench, okay, I do apologize.
That's okay. And Thomas Payne is going to be reset for the next show cause calendar.
Which
And
is, I'm sorry, 11/4?
it should be 11/4, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Harold Walker was reset for a jury trial on November the 15th.
All right, Ms. Ryan, to wait for paperwork. Did you get all the process?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I believe we're now gonna recess. That concludes the Orca calendars today being recessed, because I believe it's not working on Tuesday. So we'll see some of you all then and there. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm sorry, what Orca is on Tuesday?
I don't know if it begins this current Tuesday, but soon there will be Orca calendars Tuesday.
I thought it was Thursday.
there will be Tuesday, maybe I'm not announcing something I should not. But at some point, there will be Orca calendars almost every day but Monday. So we'll just say for now, we're in recess until the Wednesday Orca calendar.
Understood, Judge.
Take care. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge Williams.
All right, bye-bye.